Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel, Immigration Canada. Canada partially lifts low-wage LMIA freeze, leaving many workers locked out in 2026. At first glance, the news sounds encouraging. Canada has announced that low-wage labor market impact assessment processing is resuming in select cities. For many temporary foreign workers and employers, this appears to signal relief after months of uncertainty. But beneath the optimistic framing lies a far more complex and, for many, far more dangerous reality. The truth is simple but uncomfortable. Canada has not lifted the nationwide freeze on low-wage LMIAs. Instead, it has adjusted a narrow set of eligibility rules that benefit only a small number of regions, while leaving most of the country firmly locked out. How Canada quietly reshaped the low-wage worker system. Over the past year, Canada has fundamentally altered how low-wage foreign workers are allowed to remain in the country. These changes did not arrive with bold announcements or televised briefings. They emerged quietly through automated thresholds, economic triggers, and rigid processing rules that many workers only encounter when it is already too late to respond. In 2024, the federal government introduced a decisive restriction under the Temporary Foreign Worker Program. Under this policy, low-wage LMIA applications are automatically refused for processing if the job is located in a census metropolitan area where the unemployment rate is 6% or higher. This rule operates without discretion. There is no case-by-case evaluation, no opportunity to submit explanations, and no authority for officers or representatives to intervene. Neutral LMIA, a foreign national cannot apply for or renew a work permit under the low-wage stream. Employers cannot appeal. Consultants cannot override it. Officers cannot make exceptions. If the unemployment rate meets or exceeds the threshold on the exact day the application is submitted, the system shuts the door automatically. January 2026, a partial and fragile reopening. In January 2026, new unemployment data prompted the federal government to confirm that low-wage LMIA processing would resume in 8 specific regions for the first quarter of the year. These include Z-notation spot Vancouver, British Columbia. Z-notation spot Winnipeg, Manitoba. Z-notation spot Kingston, Ontario. Z-notation spot Montreal, Quebec. Z-notation spot Halifax, Nova Scotia. Z-notation spot several cities in New Brunswick. On paper, this appears to be a meaningful shift. In practice, it is neither a policy reversal nor a nationwide reopening. The regions still locked out. At the same time these 8 areas reopened, 24 major regions remained blocked. Many of them are home to the largest populations of temporary foreign workers in the country. Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, Hamilton, Kitchener, Waterloo, Windsor, London, Brantford, Barrie, and much of southern Ontario remain ineligible. For jobs located in these regions, any low-wage LMIA submitted between January 9th and April 9th, 2026, will not be processed, regardless of employer compliance or labor shortages. For most workers, nothing has changed. A system that resets every 3 months. The risk intensifies when timing is considered. Eligibility is recalculated every 3 months, based entirely on updated unemployment data. This means regions that reopened in January may become ineligible again in April if unemployment rises. There is no long-term certainty. There is no grandfathering. Months of planning can be undone overnight. Eligibility is determined strictly on the submission date, not when a job offer was issued, not when a contract was signed, and not when a work permit expires. Who bears the real impact? Foreign workers at risk. Low-wage foreign workers already in Canada face the most immediate consequences. If a work permit nears expiry and the LMIA cannot be renewed due to location-based ineligibility, the worker must stop working immediately once status ends. There is no automatic extension. Often, the only remaining option is applying for a visitor record staying in Canada without the right to work. Employers caught off guard. Canadian employers, particularly in food services, caregiving, hospitality, logistics, and manufacturing support, rely heavily on temporary foreign workers. Under the current system, their ability to retain staff can disappear suddenly due to unemployment data, even when recruitment efforts continue to fail locally. The government's stance is clear. Higher unemployment means employers should hire domestic workers. Whether this reflects real-world labor conditions remains hotly debated. Limited exceptions that few can use. Some occupations are exempt from the refusal to process rule, even in high unemployment regions. These include Z-notation spot primary agriculture, Z-notation spot construction, Z-notation spot food manufacturing, Z-notation spot hospital-based roles, Z-notation spot nursing and residential care, Z-notation spot specific in-home caregiver positions. Short-duration work of up to 120 days may also qualify under strict criteria. However, for the majority of low-wage roles, the restriction applies fully. Same job, different city, opposite outcome. Consider two identical roles earning $22 per hour. One is in Toronto, the other in Winnipeg. Same employer profile. Same compliance history. Different outcomes. Toronto's unemployment rate remains above 6%, so the LMIA is refused for processing. Winnipeg's rate falls below the threshold, allowing the application to proceed at least temporarily. The hidden rule most people miss. Here is the detail that changes everything. The unemployment rate used is not provincial. It is tied specifically to census metropolitan areas. Two job sites minutes apart can fall under entirely different rules. If a work location falls outside a census metropolitan area, the refusal rule may not apply, even if the nearby city's unemployment rate exceeds 6%. This is why verifying the exact postal code of the physical work location is critical. Not the head office. Not the business registration address. One postal code can decide whether an application proceeds or stops instantly. Canada resumes low-wage LMIA processing in 8 key cities as unemployment rates fall. Canada's Temporary Foreign Worker Program, TFWP, is entering a key transition. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada has confirmed that low-wage LMIA applications will resume in 8 major cities starting January 9, 2026, following consistent unemployment rates below 6%. The affected cities are Vancouver, Winnipeg, Kingston, Halifax, Moncton, St. John, Fredericton and Montreal, all of which showed improved labor market conditions by late 2025. The low-wage stream covers jobs paying below 120% of the region's median wage. Without an approved LMIA, employers cannot hire or extend work permits for foreign workers in these roles. Reopening this stream restores critical staffing capacity for sectors like hospitality, retail, food processing, and support services, which still face domestic labor shortages. For employers, the update reactivates the ability to support job offers with LMIAs in early 2026, though compliance is more stringent. Wage benchmarks must be checked closely and audits by Service Canada remain common. Temporary foreign workers already in these cities can renew their status locally, while overseas applicants should account for processing times of 8 to 10 weeks. The measure is time-sensitive, with regional eligibility reviewed quarterly. The next reassessment is scheduled for April 10, 2026. That is all for today, in this video. See you later. Till then, take care.